Did it power down?
I got it.
Okay, good. All right, guys, so exponents. Who remembers what about exponents? We're going to find out. First off, what does an exponent mean? Numbers. A little more specific there.
Isn't that the number on top? Like if it's 5 to the 25 to the second power?
Let's take a look at that. 5 to the second power. Tell me a little bit about that.
So you just multiply 5 times 5 2 times. Well,
Yep.
yeah. And then you get 20 times.
Oh, we're doing this stuff?
We're doing this stuff.
I did this in my 4th grade.
Yeah.
Good. Hope you're good at it. Okay. So yeah, we're raising 5 to the second power. 5 is called the base of the exponent. And 2 is the power to which the base is raised. So you can say this is 5 to the second power. You can say it's 5 squared. You can say a lot of things about it. And it equals 25, right? It's 5 times 5?
Yeah.
Okay. What does 5 cubed equal? 5 to the third power. The base of 5 raised to the third power. Jenny?
Isn't it like 125 or something? I don't know.
Exactly like 125.
Oh.
Because it's 5 times 5 times 5,
Isn't it basically 25 times 5?
which is the same thing as 25 times 5, because the associative property says I can group them together like that, and that is 125. Okay? Now, here's the fun one. What is negative 5 squared?
Negative.
Oh, negative 25.
Why?
Because there's negative 5.
No, it's
Oh,
5
no.
to 25.
Jenny?
Because the 5 is negative, but the 2 is positive, and
That actually doesn't matter.
oh wait, isn't it because it's odd? It's an odd number, so therefore, if you multiply it 5 times, it's gonna be.
You're misremembering the rule. Is it? But I can tell you've heard the rule before. The lady? Right. The lady's got the most correct one so far, but I'm going to pick on her in 1 minute. I'm going to leave this alone for a minute, and I'm going to write it like this. I'm going to write negative 5 squared, and then I'm going to do exactly what the lady said. I'm going to make this into negative 5 times negative 5. The lady said both the numbers would be positive. It would be negative, excuse me, and I had Brandon nodding when I said the wrong thing. And a negative times a negative is a positive, so this will be positive 25. Here's a problem with that. Guess what happens when you put this into your calculator?
It gives you.
If you put this into your calculator, the negative button, not 10, what's 5 times 5?
25.
25, okay. Here's the problem with it. If you put this into your calculator thinks it's saying negative 1 times 5 squared. Now here I have multiplication and an exponent. What does order of operations say I must do first? PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Exponents.
Exponents comes before multiplication. So this says make this negative 1 times 25. And what is negative 1 times 25?
Negative 25.
Negative 25.
Negative 25. So when I grew up, seeing this meant to do this. And I grew up thinking this was positive 25. Your calculator, though, will tell you that this is negative 25 because it'll think it through this way. So if you want your calculator to tell you the right answer when you square a negative, put it into parentheses, please.
Why can't you just do negative 5 times negative 5?
You can.
No.
Sure, go crazy. That'll work. That will get you positive 25. Isn't technology fun?
Wait, why'd you put negative in?
Negative where? Which one? I put a lot of negatives up
Wait,
there.
the answer is negative 25?
If you put this into your calculator will give you the answer, negative 25.
So what's the answer?
Negative 5 squared is positive 25.
Does that apply to everything? So if you have a negative and then an exponent, you just automatically know with any number that it's going to be positive?
Well, see, not always. That's if you have. This is the rule you were just remembering. If you have an even exponent, this will always work. Here's what happens with an odd exponent. What's negative 5 cubed?
Oh, it's going to be negative 125
Negative 125, right, because I have a negative times a negative
times a negative.
times a negative. So like Naledi was saying, when I multiply negative 5 times negative 5, I'll get positive 25. But then when I multiply that times negative 5, I will get negative 125. So in this case, it doesn't matter how you put it in your calculator. If you put it in your calculator without the parentheses, you will get the same thing, which I just miswrote. You will get negative 125 in both cases when you raise something to the third power. Okay? That's some basics. Now we're going to get into the fast and ugly stuff. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
May I erase this?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. I'll take all that as a yes. Okay.
I'm sorry, but this is making me fall asleep.
Plus the cold stuff, I know.
I'm just saying.
Well, it's going to get a little faster now, so maybe that'll
Oh,
make it. Okay, here's what your book calls, and I want to use the names consistent with the book. That's why I'm double checking. The product of powers property.
So we only have one class after this.
Slow down, cowboy. Get through this one first. Okay, product of powers property. Okay? This is the rule that says if you have a number raised to one power, some number a that can be any number, raised to another number m, and I multiply this by another power where I've got the same base, this is the same number, and another number up here, what am I going to do with my exponents? Does anybody remember? Add them, very good. So this is going to be a times m plus n. So if I have 5 cubed times 5 to the 10th,
Oh,
what is that going to be? Jenny?
it's going to be 5 to the 13th power.
It's going to be 5 to the 13th power, okay? You don't even have to be able to multiply 5 by itself all those times. You can just give me this answer. Have your calculator give me this. This number will be huge. See, this is like, I love these names they give. All right? So, this is the product of powers property. Now, are you ready for this one? This is what your book calls the power of a power property.
P-O-O-P-P.
Mr. Belleville,
Yes.
it says it has low battery. It went into the red zone.
Okay, we'll see how long we can get this going.
POAP.
Power of a power property. POAP, with 2 P's. Okay, this says when I have an exponent and I raise the whole thing to another power, what do I do with these powers?
We do the regular exponent first, and then whatever the answer is times it. do
Okay,
the other
thing
one.
is, Brandon, we're going to be doing this with variables today, so we're not going to know the number. So we got to know what to do with these exponents otherwise. Jenny?
Don't you do the in parentheses first?
If you know the number, you can do that, but you don't have to. There's another trick you can use.
Do you add them?
Nope, we add them when we're multiplying 2 numbers with the same base. In this case, you will multiply